Yes, Ms.
Thank you, Chair. Perhaps before we conclude on this matter, just to report back to Commissioner Baloyi, I've had a discussion with a witness regarding the question posed by Commissioner Baloyi. As I understand it, the witness can only inform the commissioners how they do it. As to whether or not that is a function of misinterpretation of the SOP, it's a matter that requires analysis of the SOP. But just generally that they await the conclusion of all investigations and then simultaneously issue the negative report or positive report, as the case may be, and the memorandum to the DPP. As the witness testified, I think, earlier, he appreciates the difficulties even we had and the logic behind that. But it is stated that that's how it's done. I propose, therefore, that we stand down the issue. We have noted it, and Mr. Kiefela, upon his return, with reference to the SOP and any other regulatory mechanisms, will direct us as to whether that's how it's intended to be done. Then we can engage with the question of whether changes must be effected to the SOP or whether it's not required by the SOP, it's just a misinterpretation by the investigators as they undertake these investigations. If that would be acceptable to Commissioner Baloyi.
It's acceptable to the chair, that's right.
Well, the question was yours, ma'am, so, and the chair, of course. That is the proposal.
I'm happy with that. Are you stepping off this?
No, I just needed to report back on the question that we'd said we'll come back to after tea. You remember, Mr. Magagula, that before we broke for tea, we had run ahead in your statement to page 85, where you make the point that, in truth, the institutions such as...
You mean paragraph?
Paragraph 85, not page 85, page 19, where you make the point that, in truth, the institutions do not have to await a decision by Empd to determine for themselves whether to invoke their internal mechanisms to start disciplinary investigations. You remember that?
Yes, I remember.
Okay, we had just run ahead. Now we need to go back to where we were and find our place and take up your testimony from there. And for that purpose, I would like us to go back to page 11. And at page 11, from paragraph 43, you deal with the status of the case. I know that the commissioners asked you some issues regarding that status of the case, but I don't think it has been formally put on record. So if you could just read into the record the status of this case, and then we'll move on to the next case. Thank you.
Current status of the case is still under investigation. I'm trying to obtain the statement of the owner of the goods and owner of the plot. I'm struggling to locate the owner of the goods, as we have so far not been able to trace him. Although the owner of the plot is available, he is reluctant to provide a statement citing that he's scared of the police, as they were the perpetrators of the crime.
Thank you. Now we are ready to move off this case. Commissioner Baloyi.
Let me ask, it may be again, Ms. Silo, that this is something that will be canvassed with Mr. Kiefela.
Yes, ma'am.
But I would like to hear the witness's view of it. Now, in Stolz's statement, she explains how she gets involved with this. She says she got information from an informant that there was stolen property at a certain place or plot. Now, that seems to me to be a matter that ordinarily would be handled by the SEPs and not a municipal police. I don't recall what the evidence was about the power on this kind of issue, about the powers of MPS. What is, in fact, the powers of the MPS when it comes to matters which are not strictly municipal matters, but are criminal conduct that seem ordinarily belong to the SAPS. Are you able to comment on that?
To comment on this, if I understand the question correctly, members of EMPD, they have the same powers as SAPS, but they do not have investigative powers. They cannot tell us that we're investigating this and this. If they receive such information that there is stolen goods at a certain place, they have a right to go there and seize the property and arrest the suspect. And they must register the case at that specific place where they found those things. You cannot find things in Patfontein and decide to open a case in Germiston. It doesn't work. So everything, it is where you found the properties in, the relevant police station must be used.
Okay, so is your answer that there is nothing wrong with that Stolz receives information from an informant, as she says, an informant called her, and then she proceeded to the place, and assume everything was legitimate. Then let's assume everything was was done legitimately and was done according to procedure. There would be nothing wrong with an informant in telling Stolz there's stolen goods at this property, and then Stolz proceeding to that property, arresting, taking possession of the property, and then going to record it and impounding in accordance with procedures. You're saying there would be nothing wrong with that. It falls within their mandate.
Yes, there is nothing wrong with it.
Thank you. Thanks, Ms.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. Mr. Magagula, I think then we are ready to move to our next case, which starts at your page 12. And this is Benoni Case 215/07/2022, and it starts at your paragraph 46. Is that correct?
Yes, it's correct.
If you can then talk to this case, starting at paragraph 42.
Benoni Case 215.
Apologies, 46, paragraph 46. Please continue.
Benoni Case 215 of 7/2022. This is a kidnapping and corruption case. The docket is attached as Annexa TLM2. The complainant alleged that on 6 July 2022 at approximately 11:45, he was at his workplace with a friend of his employer. His employer was not present as he had gone to Fortsburg to purchase stock. 2 male EMPD officers and 1 female EMPD officer arrived at the shop. The officers asked the complainant about his employer's whereabouts, and he informed them that his employer was not around. The police then began searching the shop and allegedly stole a large quantity of cigarettes, placing them on the ground. They inquired about the invoice for the cigarette, and the complainant explained that the invoice was with his employer. The EMPD officers reportedly packed the cigarette into 4 large boxes and 1 large China bag. This China bag is usually referred to Mashangane bag. The employer's friend was instructed to leave. The employer's friend was instructed to leave and immediately complied. During the incident, one of the officers took a cell phone belonging to the complainant employer. The EMPD officers also disconnected the CCTV camera and instructed the complainant to close the shop. They ordered the complainant to board a police vehicle driven by a male African officer. The cigarettes were loaded into another vehicle driven by the female white EMPD officer. The information of evidential value has been obtained, such as witnesses' statement, exhibit register as a petition, photo album, as well as the suspect warning statement. The matter was discussed with the public prosecutor based on the evidence collected, and the prosecutor directed that the alleged suspect should be arrested. The arrest was effected on the 10th March 2023, and the accused appeared before court for their first appearance on the 13th of March 2023. The matter was remanded on various court dates until the case reached trial stage and was set for the 18th February 2025. Subsequently, and on 18 March 2025, the matter was provisionally withdrawn on the day due to the complainants not showing interest on the matter. All court appearances are recorded on Annexa TLM 2.
If you could stop there, and perhaps let's have regards to Annexure TLM 2. And now we go to the big file, the Annexure file that we're looking at prior to tea break. And it starts, TLM 2 starts from page 93.
TL2.
Page 93, it should have a flag marked TLM 2.
Yeah, I see TLM 3.
Just look at
The top right?
Yeah.
The top one.
The page numbering at the top.
red page numbering. Top right corner. You'll see
Yes.
93. Look for 93.
Okay, I got it. 93. Yes.
Page 93. And you will see that just before page 93, there is a page that is, and onto that page, a flag is attached. Do you see that? A flag. Just before page 93. The page before 93 has got a flag.
Yes.
Now, if you look at that flag, you'll see it's got a number, TML2.
Yes.
So that's how we read the annexures.
Okay.
Okay. So this is what you suggest is TLM2, and that is the case docket in the case that we are discussing currently.
Yes.
Once again, before we deal with the detail of this matter, I think, commissioners, we need to rearrange the pages. If you go to page 231, that should be the Forensic Science Laboratory report. And the commissioners will see from that it's then followed by page 232. It's some pictures extracted by the laboratory. However, if you go back to page 165 to page 211, you come across other pictures, but not attached to this particular document. These documents belong to the report from page 232, so the commissioners would have to remove them from their current place and to bring them here. The numbering will be a bit out, because when the copies were ran from the docket, that's where the pictures were positioned. When one considers the actual report starting at page 226, the laboratory report, and in particular from page 227 at the bottom, there is a long list of these photographs that are listed there. But the photographs that immediately follow are fewer, and the other photographs seem to be, misfiled at page 165 to page 211. So if you could just the commissioners would we will come back, we'll come and readjust your
rather take us to whichever you want to take us to. Sorting out that, we'll leave that to you.
Okay.
Yes.
We then Mr. Magagula, do you confirm that my interpretation of the docket is correct?
Yes.
Okay. We will make the necessary changes to the commissioner's files. You indicate that in this matter, I think best if we go to page, the second set of pictures, because I think it speaks more to what you have just said. And for this, I'll refer you to page 232. Page 232 and following. And you stated that from these pictures, the specific members of EMPD can be seen in the shop of the complainant.
Yes.
So they are currently being projected, and we'll just scroll through them. Do you confirm that these are the members of EMPD who undertook this quote-unquote operation?
Yes.
I note from your statement, you say that the investigation was completed and that the matter is currently in court. What I could not locate is your IPID report to EMPD to initiate the internal investigations for disciplinary purposes. It's not in the docket. Do you confirm it's not?
I confirm.
Was it ever filed with EMPD?
It was not filed.
And the reason for that being?
The reason for this matter not be, it was not completed through decision. It was completed as an arrest. So when we arrest, from the word go, when we arrest, we are not making any recommendation to the DPP and the EMPD. As a result, you will find out those reports are not there. So in this one, when I make a straight arrest, the person who will be responsible for making the recommendation, it will be the senior public prosecutor to the director of public prosecution, because each and every case where a member of South African police or EMPD is arrested, the docket has to go to the DPP. So at that stage, the person who does that recommendation, it will be the senior public prosecutor.
So how do you suggest the EMPD gets to learn that it should initiate internal investigations against these members?
As I said, in this matter, we communicate with EMPD. EMPD, on this matter, they were aware of it when I effected an arrest. I effected an arrest in the boardroom of Mr. Rivo's Peace. He was present. Even when I was at court during bail application, there was a communication between him and me, because it was the same day when Yako Hanekom was killed, because it's when I received call that Yako has been killed, and I was at court. He even sent me certain video of court gathering, some of the people who were in court, sent by Mr. Rivo to me. He was not there. So someone took pictures, a video footage in court, and sent it to Mr. Spies, and Mr. Spies did send it to me. So he was aware of this incident, what was happening in this incident.
I want to ask, you say where you effect an arrest and the senior prosecutor makes a recommendation to prosecute, you don't do your normal IPID investigation and a recommendation. Is that because of the standard operating procedure, or is that a decision that you make on your own?
It is the standard operating procedure. If we effect an arrest, when I come back with the docket, that system that I was talking about, we must feed it. It will ask you, it was an arrest, or immediately when I click arrest, it will say this matter is completed on the system. That system is called flow-centric.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Khumalo. Now, did you share with the EMPD any parts of this docket which would provide the facts necessary for them to initiate the investigation? And if so, when did you share that information and how? Besides you arresting them in the presence of Commissioner Spies and other senior personnel.
I said the copies through that mutual understanding because they asked for it and we give them. I want to be clear, I did not make them to sign for it in any documentation that they received this. I didn't do that, but I gave it to them, Ms. Musepe.
So when you say you gave it to them, is it the contents of the docket in its entirety or some documents from the docket?
The contents of the docket.
And you gave that to Ms. Mutsepe?
Yes.
Now, this matter, as I understand it, arose in July 2022, and I think the arrests were on the 10th of March 2023. We are now in 2026. Can you recall when you gave Ms. Mutsepe this docket?
In 2023.
In 2023?
Yeah. Immediately when incident happened is when they come knocking to our doors and we provide. When there is new development,
yes,
whether it's a video footage or she will ask us to provide them with that video footage. If it is in forensic, I will inform her that the video footage is still in forensic, I can provide. If I have a working copy, I'll provide a working copy.
And just perhaps lastly, for the record, are you aware of a complaint from EMPD or any of its senior managers that the EMPD does not have information regarding this matter and therefore are not in a position to take steps against their members? Are you aware of such a complaint to IPID?
I'm aware because I heard, but when you look at it, when I effected arrest, they were present. So I do not know if they say that they are not aware whilst I effected that arrest in their own offices. I wonder what they are meaning.
And I think Commissioner Spies did testify to the fact that they were arrested in the boardroom in his personal presence, at least. He was there. So are you suggesting that that was at least sufficient for EMPD to take an initiative to establish why it is they are being arrested and to seek such information as they require to take disciplinary action?
Yes.
Okay. You had dealt with your paragraph 51 and you had informed us that this matter now is provisionally withdrawn from the court roll.
Sorry, Ms.
Yes.
These pictures, I mean, there are names of people that are in the statement of the implicated person. You projected photographs. Is Mr. Makagula able to say to us who are those people in those pictures? You can project any of them, but I think of interest is the three people that are implicated.
The first picture there,
there's a screen closer to you.
I see Keisha Listos.
Okay, we'll try to move on to the next.
Are you just before that? Are you referring? There's somebody in a T-shirt with a star on the chest, and then there's somebody in uniform
The one in uniform, I'm not clear who he is. I can see him, but with Keisha Listols, I can see it here.
Mr. Magagu, I don't understand. There are two people on the picture. There is a male in what appears to be a gray T-shirt, and to his right is a person who appears to be female, and that person seems to be wearing a uniform. Am I seeing properly? Is that what you also see?
Yeah, I can see two.
Okay, now of the two, please identify the one that you say is Ms. Stolz.
Is the white female wearing uniform?
Okay.
If I may be of assistance, maybe if you go to page 233, if we could project that, I think it might be a clearer picture if it's the same person.
Yeah, this is Keisha Listols in this picture.
Okay, thank you.
And I think we'll have to go to, I suggest, page 165. And following. I don't know if you can recognize the gentleman there.
This gentleman, I recognize him as Adrian Norman Mackenzie, and I see he's receiving a packet.
We can go forward. The next pictures also
Sorry,
have.
to try and help again. If
Yes.
you go to page 36, there seems to be a clearer picture. 236. Is Mr. Mackenzie in that picture?
Behind Keisha Listols is Adrian Norman Mackenzie.
Thank you. Thanks, Ms. Silla.
Thank you, ma'am. To go then to 165.
Sorry. 165.
Mr. Magagula, we're at 165, page 165. We will move on to page 167. I see there the person you identified as Mr. Mackenzie. Am I correct?
Yes.
And the person with his back to the camera wearing what looks like a black jacket. I see what appears to be Empd on his back, his or her back. And please hold that thought if I move to page 169. There are two pictures there, and it would appear to be the same person, this time leaning over, and I think the letters Empd are clearly visible. Do you see those?
Yeah, I saw those three individuals.
Do you know the person wearing this outfit marked Empd?
Yes, this is Bafana Twala. This is the person who recorded, exhibited Benoni Police Station.
Ms. Sillo, aren't you able to find a picture that shows the person's face?
You could.
May I request
Should
2
we?
minutes?
Yes, let's adjourn. Let's adjourn.